amazing people, how you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bilikis and you're welcome once again. In today's lesson there's going to be a little twist. Why? Because we are going back to the basics. Yeah, because I notice when I'm making some tutorials, a lot of people are lost. They're like, they don't know how to draft the basic bodice pattern. So I'm like, okay, why don't we just go back and have a detailed brushing on the basics, like the basic bodice pattern, the basic sleeve, the princess dart, and all that before we go back to our tutorials. Isn't that nice? Yes. So today's class will be on how to make a detailed basic bodice pattern updated version. Yeah, if today is your first time of checking out this channel, you're welcome once again. Please make sure you subscribe and tap on the notification bell to get notified each time we put up a video. You can also check out my other channel, Pattern Drafting with Bilikis and Bilikis Signatures, and on Instagram, Bilikis Signatures, and on Facebook, Sewing Innovations. If you are also interested in our monthly online classes and the sewing tools you see me use, please use the contact number in the description box below to get in touch with us. It is time for us to go to the work table right now. To get started, all you have to do is to get your pattern paper, cardboard paper, or whatever paper you can lay your hands on. Then fold into two, as I've done here, because I want to be drafting the front and the back together. Then I'm going to add all the seam allowances. You always know I like the easy way around things, yes, which I'll be teaching you today. And then you need your accurate body measurement, which I have made a video on that, and I will put in the description box below. The measurement I'll be working with, the shoulder measurement is 15, the bust point is 11 inches, the vertical waist measurement is 17 inches, the bust circumference 38 inches, and the waist circumference is 30 inches. So you have to take your accurate body measurement. So the first thing I will insert is the nape to the waist measurement, which is 17 inches, with seam allowance to attach it to your skirt or just your peplum, whatever. So half an inch is okay. And in case you want it up to your hip, then you have to extend your paper and do that. 17 and a half. Haven't done that. The next thing you are going to do is to insert half of your armhole round. A lot of people has been asking me how to go about that. There's a simple formula for that, which is your bust measurement, that is your bust circumference, divided by 6. After doing that, then you will add 1.5 to it. Again, your bust circumference divided by 6, and whatever you get plus 1.5. In this case, the bust circumference is 38. Once I divide that by 6, I'm going to have 6.333. Then when I add 1.5 to that, I'm going to have 7.8333. So that is approximately 8 inches. So, and since this is a medium size measurement I'm working with, 8 inches is just fine. So you have to insert your own bust measurements. 8 inches. Then the next measurement will be the bust points from the nape to the bust level. For her, it is 11 inches. The next thing to do is to determine the shoulder slope. You would have heard me talk about the 3 inches, 8 inches standard. That is to determine the shoulder slope because woman's shoulder is not straight. So first measure 3 inches, then 8. From that 8, come down by 1 inch. Connect this 3 to the 8. The next one will be your shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement I'm working on is 15 inches divided by 2. That will be 7.5. For instance, my shoulder measurement is 17. When I divide that by 2, it's going to be 8.5. So that will be after the 8 inches point. Come down to your chest line and mark 7.5. So again, this is the chest line, this is the bust line, the bust point line, and this is the waist line. The next thing will be to insert the dart. How do you go about that? You will need your bust span measurement, the distance from one nipple to the other, divided by 2. For her, it is 8, divided by 2, that will be 4 on the bust point line and the waist. The next thing will be the dart. On the average, half an inch on both sides for that is okay, but it depends on how busty you have. Like for a small size person, half on both sides, even for medium size person. But if you are busty, like for myself, I'm a plus size, I will make sure that that is 3/4 inch on both sides, because the essence of the dart is to give your outfit a lot of fitting and make the bust area prominent. So for her, I'm just going to make use of half an inch on both sides. But for myself, I will make use of 3/4 inch on both sides. From the bust point, come down by 1 inch. For myself, it's also depends on how busty you are. I will make do with 1.5. Maybe I'll have to make a tutorial on how to make a basic bodice for plus size. The next thing will be to insert the horizontal measurement. So for the bust, our bust is 38 divided by 4. Why am I dividing into 4? Because both the front and the back will be on fold. So that's 2, which makes it 4. 38 divided by 4 will give me 9.5. And it is advisable, especially for beginners, to add heels to your outfit, because when it is loose, it is better than being tight. So on the average, you can add 1/4 to half an inch to your outfit. That is essential. So here it is 9.5. If you want to add ease, let's just say 1/4 inch, which is here. Then for the size seam allowance, the seam allowance I told you, just add 1. So this is the actual measurement, and that's the seam allowance. The next thing will be to insert the waist. Our waist is 30 inches divided by 4. That's going to give me 7.5. But note, we are taking in some dart because this is going to be sewn in. So the measurement has to be added back to the waist measurement. So 7.5 plus 1, because we took in 1, that will make it 8.5. You can also add heels to that area if you want. So if you want ease of 1/4 inch, that will be 8 3/4, depending on your preference. Then 1 inch for the size seam allowance. The next thing is the handhold measurement. And how do you go about that? All you have to do is to take the measurement from the shoulder slope now, and whatever you have divided by 2. Here I have 7, half will be 3.5. From that point, you go in by 3/4 inch for the front handhold, because you don't want any crease when you fold your hand forward. Then with your handhold, connect from the initial measurement there. That's for the front, then the back. For the neckline, by standard, we make use of 3 inches by 3 inches. That's also vary depending on your size. For a small size person, please use 2.5 inches, 2.5 by 2.5. So for her, I'll maintain the 3 inches here and 3 inches here. Make a little straight line. The back will be 1 inch. It's good. So all the seam allowance has been added. Now the shoulder, just go up by 1/2 inch. In most cases, I don't have seam allowance to my armhole area, and that is because when I'm sewing the sleeve, I usually sew in just 1 centimeter, not even up to half an inch, and it quite make it so fitted. But in case you want to add seam allowance to that, just increase your shoulder measurement by 1/4 of an inch. Do that and it works perfectly. So instead of the 7.5 inches for the shoulder measurement, just make it 7 3/4. So that is it. All the seam allowance has been added. Now I can cut up. Cutting the neckline, you cut the back first. The armhole, the back first too. Then I'll have to slit this open. Slit it open. Before I remove it, I'm just going to mark the chest line point. Yeah, we already know this is the bust area. This for the back. Now we have to finish the front. The front basic bodice is ready. Now let's quickly finish the back. So with this mark, I know that is the chest line. That's all we need for the back. That's good. The next thing we are going to do is to put in the dart. But before we put in the dart, there is an alteration we need to make here. In most cases, when you see some outfits whereby the waistline in front is moving upward while that of the back is coming downward, is because the back waist length is not being altered. And this alteration depends on how busty you have. For some people, you don't need to alter this at all because they don't have boobs or much boobs, you understand. But for a medium-sized person, you come up by half an inch to 3/4, and for a plus-sized person, you make use of 1 inch. Like for myself, I would go up by 1 inch. But for her now, I'm just going to go up by 3/4 of an inch. That's 3/4. Then you connect this to the side waist line. Good. So this part is off. Like for me, a plus size, I will make it up to 1. That is very essential. The next thing will be to insert the bust span measurement, which is 8 divided by 2, 4. Now the new waist line. For the back, you take half an inch for the dart on both sides. Come down by 1 inch. So the back is ready. This is what your basic bodies look like. So if this tutorial has been helpful, please give me a giant thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. For our monthly online classes and sewing tools, please use the contact number in the description box below. I have to go now. Bye guys, this series is going to be very lovely.